I mean, these two teams, I was kind of looking through, is Nepal will be the first game. I've watched these two teams because me and Mitch have had the fortunate covering EMEA really for a lot of the year. 8 times I've been a part of these two matchups, but it's happened like 20 plus throughout the year. Qadsiah has a slight advantage as of now coming into our finals as well. They get that first map pick.
Okay.
They take it Nepal. This is probably to just protect a tank, and then the Lucio gone on the other side.
Intelligent, I think, from Junkbook, coach of Qadsiah, opens with a tank protect, but one that he won't be likely to need later into the series in terms of the ban. And TM respond with the Lucio ban. This has been something they've used time and time again against Qadsiah, utilizing Funny Astro for his incredible flexibility and testing that of Qadsiah's backline.
Yeah, putting the pressure onto Kellex. And Kellex has been really good at this event. Teams have constantly gone to that Lucio ban against Qadsiah, and they have been able to kind of fight back. Kellex playing the Brig and be able to come out on top in some of those matchups. And, when we just had these two teams up here a little bit earlier in the day, and we saw that match kind of play out, for me, it was really Ziad. I mean, Ziad was
what a game.
He is just such a sick player for Qadsiah, especially now. It is most certainly clear that D.Va is the go-to in the meta. And TVNT and Ziad, both fantastic on the hero, but Ziad knows how to push the D.Va to its limits.
Absolutely, and I mean, what a meta for Ziad, for this young player bursting onto the scene with this incredible talent in peak form. And Matt, the lights, they don't get brighter than this.
Well, and also Qadsiah has been here before, right? They get absolutely wrecked by the Falcons at the MSC. But having kind of played in one of those big international finals, I mean, that environment there was crazy, right? Because you have Falcons versus Qadsiah. I mean, the place was just going insane for the Falcons. They won't have that same kind of like fire, on the other side in terms of everybody kind of cheering against them, so to speak. And then also the first finals for some of those players, right? So for Qadsiah, you're a little bit more comfortable now. TM, there is something to say though, Jake, about constantly playing here throughout the day, right? They've had a few matches here today. This will be their 3rd one, so they've been a part of every game we've seen here. And some people look at it as a good thing, some people look at it as a bad thing. I always think like, the adrenaline's going to carry you through this type of moment. You've actually been playing more Overwatch and probably feel a little bit better here at the moment because they tried Psycho earlier in this matchup and it didn't work out all that well, and that's something they've gone to against Qadsiah numerous times, right? Playing Psycho, playing some of this really counter sim comp. It doesn't really work there. Yubi puts himself back in the lineup here, and you imagine Sim Tracer gonna be all we're seeing here from Twisted Minds.
Very likely. Will you take that sim mirror? Will Qadsiah be the team that elects to back off and try to find that compositional advantage? That's been something that's given them edges against many teams in the past. Checkmate has been this incredible leader for the team, an incredible versatility as an individual player, but also as a leader for the team, finding the right strategy for the moment in the highest pressure situations. I mean, he's lifted trophies before.
Yeah, and you see here the control stats for these two teams throughout our World Finals. And honestly, outside of the slip-up from Twisted Minds against Qadsiah, they've been awesome all tournament long. I mean, a 3-1 against Crazy Raccoon, 3-1 against Falcons, right? They barely get by T1. T1's actually one of their hardest tests, right? A Game 5, it goes all the way down to the wire. A reverse sweep on that flashpoint in Game 5. But other than that, they have, to deal with Crazy Raccoon in Falcon in that type of fashion, you have to feel great, even coming out of lowers here for Twisted Minds.
It just goes to show that it's any given day, any given performance that could make the difference. It's up to these players on the stage to find that form. Players like Quartz peaking at the right time. I mean, some of these highlights we've been seeing from this tournament, they've been downright inhuman from Quartz. I mean, playing on the next level, and you've got to imagine that's top of mind for these Qadsiah players as we load into Nepal.
Game 1 of our World Finals about to get underway. EMEA number 1 versus EMEA number 2. But that has been flip-flopping all year, right? I mean, since, right after Champions Clash, really, right? When VP kind of falls off a cliff. It has been these two teams in EMEA and everybody else. I think, yeah, if Twisted Minds gets that type of performance out of Quartz, it's going to be really rough here for Qadsiah, even though they took care of him earlier in the day.
I keep thinking back to those moments Ziad had in the upper final, though, taking over the game, seizing victory from the jaws of defeat, forcing his will upon the match. Both teams loading up on the sim. Village as our opening stage.
Yeah, and to remind you guys, it is a first to 4. So most likely with these two teams, EMEA, they were going all the way down to the wire. We may be here a bit, Stockholm, but we do not mind. As it opens up, it'll be Qadsiah running that Sim Diva. Pretty standard for them here with Landon piloting the Juno, with obviously the Lucio gone here. It'll be Juno Brig.
Simple on the Kiriko. Very high skill option, one that could make a difference. Flanked as well by Qadsiah's Freya. You've got so much on your plate right now, Ziad. Can you manage this pressure? Kelix's Brig, though, giving them that stability in the front line. Two different visions for the match. Who will reign supreme here on this opening fight?
Yeah, I mean, TVNT getting in the mix with the Ram just runs down Kelix. You're not having that speed to get that Brig out of the way. Quartz takes some shots. He is finally finished off by Labda, so a lot of that pressure that's going on to Ziad is gone, but Ziad's at the mech.
Labda's still in this. Has found 2 kills in the fight. Surely they don't have a way back into this. Sojourn can't quite get any more done. And TVNT frontlining on the Ramatra. Gonna be a difficult tank for you to dislodge here, running that Brig Juno. Landon and Kelix have to live to fight another day, but, well, this comp looks amazing for Twisted Minds. I mean, they've got such a durable frontliner, so much poke damage.
Well, especially for TM here, Jake, you're actually able to use the Juno speed ring with the Ramatra and just run the Brig down, right? Brig does not really want to kind of stand there toe-to-toe, burst the Ram. So we'll see how Qadsiah decides to play this. Next fight kicking off. It'll be Labda getting control of some of this high ground.
They put the Brig on the high ground here, taking some space. Labda senses an opportunity to go deep, but Checkmate's already fallen. The Diva dive in, not finding anything here from Qadsiah. Twisted Minds holding strong. Kelix does get into the action, but once again seems to be favoring Twisted Minds here as things get scrappy.
Ziad just trying to make it interesting there. Piling the baby Diva form is Quartz and Co. still strongly in control of the point. Qadsiah has not been able to get anything really going thus far. Next fight here though, Jake. Yubi has been so aggressive here. Stimwall plus Rush, and like those have been, essentially always win fights for TM. Let's see if they decide to do that. So it looks like Checkmate just trying to figure out where Quartz is. Maybe you can get on top of the star hit scan.
Support ultimates still a few percentage away. Twisted Minds, will they go aggressive? They're content to hold this down, run the clock out, force Qadsiah to get aggressive. Here comes the Rush, finally out of Simple, pushing the aggression. Responsive orbital ray from Qadsiah, keeping Kelix alive, but just barely. Twisted Minds fighting this brawl in Quartz is good for 1. Can he find more? And this is last fight, no chance to reset for Qadsiah.
Yeah, I mean, much different here than our first game between these two teams. Yeah, flies on in, takes out Quartz, so not done just yet.
May have turned the tide. That's Checkmate's wall deployed now. Getting energized, Ramatra up in his face. That TP not far enough away, but he's dancing well enough.
Annihilation, they're gonna go in with the orbital ray.
It's all in here. Both teams heavy committing. Labda with the OC. Huge threat, very scary to walk up into this. Simple, TPing out now on the Kiriko. Labda really firing on all cylinders, and that's gonna get the kills that Qadsiah needs. Ziad, though, out of the scoop, pops the self-destruct, but the bullet shot to the face overwhelms him.
And they still have TVNT alive and both support, so they're gonna go back in here and fight this. As Simple finds Labda. You do have the rally here for Kelix. You almost have to think about investing it. You back up a little bit, you might end up giving up the checkpoint. He's gonna have to use the rally.
Yeah, rally keeps him alive, but not for long. Quartz hunts him down. And it's all Twisted Minds here in the feed. Opening round of Nepal, secured.
It's a great start there for TM. Not taking that Diva head-to-head here against Ziad. Going to try and make his life a little bit more difficult by playing the Ram. And I also think having the Lucio gone really is impactful here, Jake. It makes it, obviously a little bit more uncomfortable for Qadsiah in that back line. I mean, Astro and Simple just so good at maneuvering and playing a bunch of different combinations back here. As we take a look at some of the stats, TVNT deathless there in round number 1.
Yeah, we saw Kelix, I think, just struggling in that round. A really difficult position to be on breaking that matchup. I mean, who can you go for? Incredible mobility in the enemy team, and now Kelix over to the Juno, land into the Kiriko. So Qadsiah taking the option to slow things down a little bit, give themselves more of a fighting chance in that poke battle. But no matter what you pick, it's going to demand that you go toe-to-toe with one of the best to ever do it in Quartz. Labda, is he up to the task?
I mean, Quartz clearly climbing up the ladder in terms of hit scan players in the world, maybe sitting at the top at the moment as TVNT shield off to the side, TP in front, they're going to try and take some of this space away.
TVNT putting the screws now to Qadsiah. Ziad steps on the point, but is already low. Has lost that armor. This Him turret's annoying, but he's still putting a lot of pressure down on the point. The heals are very good from this Qadsiah backline. He can't quite get the cap flip.
Well, I think Twisted Minds is fine with them taking that position on the point as they do find checkmate. Finally, a TP comes in and they try and get aggressive. But Alcad, you have to go down there and try and take point. As Ziad, hold on, he finds two, he makes it out.
How does he do it? He's dancing with death and just
That is
coming out
crazy.
the other side. Ziad soloing this fight very nearly, and TVNT left alone on the point.
TM should not lose that fight, Jake. They get checkmate first, right? They get kind of what they want. They have this like a little bit more pokey style of play. They want to play off to the side, over on the bridge, force Alcad to the point, put some pressure on down, and then follow it up. They get that first pick, especially on the checkmate. Takes all of that sim damage and mobility off the table, and somehow Qadsiah pulls it out.
Feels like an absolute battle of wills right now between Quartz and Ziad. Qadsiah pushed back for the moment, not wanting to take that frontline trade into Ramatra. And Quartz with some open firing lines here, putting pressure down, but it's not enough for the flip just yet. Qadsiah happy to play this one slow, patient, not giving any opportunities to the superstar hit scan. Now he goes in deep, but a rail to the face will dissuade him for now.
Yeah, I think they were looking at maybe trying to get in there, connect with a bolo shot, capture a player or two.
Shot out of the suit. He's going to be going down here. Surely TVNT has him dead to the right. Quartz has found Labda in the meantime. So Twisted Minds, the raw death matching, gets them right back into position, and it's huge for them that they're able to win that without deploying any ultimates.
And already, Jake, we were talking a little bit about in the pregame, like Ziad just ran rampant in that previous matchup. They are not letting him get away with that now. As you are seeing time and time again, in situations where Ziad would be able to make it away, they are punishing the diva of Qadsiah. Qadsiah, though, is going to be having all 5 ultimates here coming up shortly.
Quartz is ready for that, put some damage down. Ziad has the Mega to work with, though. Pulling a lot of resources here to the flank. He messes up. Ziad fell off the map. A rare mistake from a young superstar in Labda Pop's OC. Not going to find anything at all with this.
Yeah, and it looks like Ziad actually tried to like take his mech up into the sky and then kind of come down and land on top as they push the spawn. I like this move from TM. Just kind of stagger out Labda even longer. You know, he just doesn't clip the side of the map and land back on. That's brutal, especially because you have the OC running on the other side. It looked like Labda was going to try and have some railgun shots into the back of Twisted Minds. And now TM set up quite well, Jake. They take the lead. They can get aggressive.
Ramatra so difficult. Qadsiah take it wide. The stim wall providing healthy cover for them to touch the point with the TV board from Yubi. He's taking this fight head to head here. Battling on the objective with a stim wall of his own. Ziad somehow finds Funny Astro, taking down one of those key healers, but Quartz strikes right back. The step destroy from Ziad. Center of the point, TP forward. He's back in the suit, but Twisted Mind still fighting, still in control at this point. Yubi on the Symmetra, maybe doing just enough, and with checkmate falling, Ziad out of the suit as well. TM holds strong in what could have been a terrifying situation. That's all of the ultimates out of the field now.
Everything dumped in from both sides. But at the end of the day, the later rush with the annihilation on the point, no way Alcad is going to be able to fight on through that. Checkmate over the Tracer here, just wants to get a touch. Send us into OT. It's Twisted Minds on fire here to kick things off.
Tracer can get the touch, but can you win the fight? Someone's got to get on. Oh, checkmate playing it to the limit. TVNT finds Kelix. Fight already turning against him. Someone needs to get that point again, but they can't. Checkmate just out of resources. And map 1 jitters for Qadsiah. Twisted Minds locked in. It's been a long day of Overwatch for them, but man, they look so sharp right now. It doesn't seem to be getting them.
Yeah, but sometimes that's good to continue to kind of keep playing, right? You get in a groove.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the amount of confidence that they must have gained with how they handled Crazy Raccoon, right? We do not see teams handle them in that fashion. Alcad, they've been kind of sitting on the side for a little bit. And also, to remind some of you guys, you know, before the Qadsiah kind of beats Twisted Minds here today, the most recent matchups have been going in favor of Twisted Minds. although the overall kind of yearly series, Al-Qaeda won. Most recently, though, it has been Twisted Minds getting the upper hand, a lot like how they did here in map number 1 as we take a look at some of the stats. TBNT, just 1 death here in our first map. UB obviously coming in, kind of locking down that sim.
Quartz is just, he's in a stratosphere of his own. Look at that damage. 9,000 damage in 2 quick rounds of control.
And we have seen this from Quartz, being able to take over these games now at the international stage, not just against, players in EMEA or players from North America, like getting the best of the, players like Proud, players like Merit, players like Proper. I mean, Quartz really kind of ascending to a different level here at our World Finals. They're almost like double the damage of Labda, who's a fantastic player in his own right. And look, when you have Quartz on the Freya and he's able to just kind of play at range, never really feel like he's under pressure. I mean, he barely misses when he's under pressure. I mean, if he has that much time to just kind of free fire, it might be a quick one.
I will say, despite that map looking very dominant for TM, I think they just found the better strat there. I think the Ramatra able to just slow the game down. UB Symmetra, so difficult for Ziad to play around. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that Ziad finds so many crucial kills across that map. I mean, one notable mistake, sure, but in many of these fights that just look unwinnable, it's Ziad, tip of the spear, finding the backline, punishing them, making Twisted Mind think twice about some of these greedier map picks.
Yeah, and we'll see what Qadsiah decides to do here for our second map. Obviously, map selection in first ban will go over to Al-Qad. If there was one team that would ban the sim in this series, it would be Qadsiah. Checkmate obviously a little bit more flexible here than UB. UB really Tracer Sim May, you would say. Probably the heroes in his pool that you feel comfortable with him going to here in a World Final.
Yeah, but I mean, he just beat down on Crazy Raccoon in a Tracer mirror. I mean,
yeah, that was wild.
Like, you could have, in the past, I would have agreed with you, questioning his flexibility. Does he have those other heroes on that level? But he took it to the lip in that last series. I mean, well, questions asked, questions answered, Matt.
And everything out of Qadsiah, from, kind of interviews and up until this event and, everything here, has been, we are the best sim team here. We know how to play it against everything. We are going to continue to play it. It would be a little bit of a sign of kind of, breaking from that logic to obviously get rid of it. But as we take a look at Qadsiah, potentially, are you looking at King's Row here? Both these teams love King's Row. It was basically the entire time during EMEA, we would see them go to that map. Potentially one they go to here.
Big moment for the coaching staff of Qadsiah. How do you respond? Twisted Minds have pulled a 180 from that upper bracket final. The style they ran, going with Psycho, playing these high mobility comps, trying to outplay the Symmetra. It didn't work in that match. And so they come back with a new and revamped look. UB in the lineup. Strong opener to the series here on Nepal.
Well, you also have to give credit to this TM team, right? Coachless, right? Pretty much everything up until this morning was, with this first matchup, was UB in. And they decide, hey, maybe the better option is Psycho. And in some of these games against Al-Qad recently, that has worked. And they decide right after that game, like, hey, maybe we just kind of go back to some of that sim stuff. We feel like, obviously UB a very strong in-game caller as well for this team. Maybe you feel like you kind of need that extra edge, and it has worked out. So we will see shortly what Al-Qad decides to do as we get into the map selection. But we take a look at some of the healing leaders here at our World Finals, and Simple and Landon sitting on top.
I mean, Landon's #1 with a bullet, though. Almost 30% ahead of the next player. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they're playing a ton of like Lucio comps and Brig comps, right? So a lot of the healing from this team comes from Landon. Baptiste comes as well, right? But still, I mean, an insane performance at this event from Landon. You think back to their game, against CR, right? To knock them into the lowers and what he was doing on Shambali Monastery. I mean, just an unbelievable event from him. And an EMEA staple here is King's Row as the map selection.
No surprises. But the ban is where things really get interesting. And Qadsiah,
man, they are all in on protecting this diva.
They're doubling down, honestly. And it's basically the same ban strategy as the last map.
But doesn't this work out for Twisted Minds? You get rid of the Kiri, right? This is going to cause, like, what? Are you playing, you're not going to play like a, what, Juno in the backline? Are you playing the Wuyong here, maybe? Like, TM can play that. That's why it's not as bad of a ban.
Yeah, it makes you lean towards some of these other styles, the slower backline styles that I think TM do prefer. But Kiriko's been a staple all tournament long, and so to take it out of the pool is, I think, going to put both teams in an interesting spot. Put some pressure on Landon's hero pool. What does he have next up in his bag of tricks? We talked about it. I mean, he's insane on the healing leaderboard. Incredible stats from him. But can he also deliver as we go deeper down the stretch? In these early maps, when these impactful bans often come out, Qadsiah investing in some protect bans that hopefully pay dividends for them later in the series. But you've got to get there to even use them. You've got to win maps. And Matt, I feel like it needs to start soon. We saw this in the midseason championship at the Esports World Cup. Qadsiah started out strong, but faded down the stretch in the grand final. And that memory, it has to be replaying in their heads now. They've got to get out of this rut and find some purchase on the series in Kings Row.
Yeah, I mean, kind of bad memories could be seeping into the minds of Qadsiah. Just getting that first to 4, they looked so good at the MSC and just kind of dominated in that final. Now, TM goes up 2-0 with how they've kind of been playing in some of these matchups lately. They could start to lose confidence on the Qadsiah side. And Jake, I gotta say, obviously, cast a lot of EMEA Overwatch this year. Gen G was famous for going with those protect type bans, and Gen G's not here. So that didn't exactly work for them. But look, if you're Qadsiah, you definitely feel like you want Ziad on his D.Va. The strongest hero in his pool. But it does obviously leave some things open here for TM to attack in the back line, as looks like Simple here, rolling out with the Baptiste, gonna combo that with a Lucio. So Lucio Ramatra, this was a comp that was actually really strong, like towards the beginning of stage 3 in EMEA.
And now Qadsiah, they're planning to go for the playstyle adjustment rather than the compositional swap. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case, what Ziad ends up coming out of the gates with. Probably not the Winston.
We shall see some options here. The D.Va as the gates open for Qadsiah, as it will be Landon piling the Baptiste. We've seen some truly historic stuff from him. Legendary plays on that hero. They're going to need it here to tie the series up.
Landon gonna feel good about this. A matchup where he's very comfortable. Twisted Minds feel that the mirror is the best option. And Labda's taking the high ground with the rail. It's a strong rotation from the Symmetra. They're starting to put pressure on this point. Once again, Qadsiah trying to play that momentum game, but Quartz, you cannot peek this man on the Sojourn. Qadsiah with 4. Still on the map, still staying active and holding this map control. But will they be punished for it? Astro looking to punish with a boop, looking to find somebody stepping out, taking a risk. Landon forced into a drone. TBNT pressuring with Yubi, and now they're being pincered a little bit by Labda on the respawn, but hard to navigate, and Quartz finds Kelix in the chaos. Twisted Minds just really taking over this series now. I mean, Qadsiah not finding anything, no relief, no respite from the Soj.
I mean, it must be so fun to play with Quartz as he just dominates the lobby. That is great positioning early on from Qadsiah. They kind of get the high ground, they force TM to kind of rotate to the low. And it doesn't matter. I mean, the Sojourn on Twisted Minds, Quartz just kind of going crazy there, just rips 2 heads. Pincers coming off of the spawn, doesn't matter, just turns and burns. Kellex, Labda not able to make it through the choke. It's a first fight win there from Twisted Minds.
They're looking to find a way to get on top of this Sojourn. Yubi, though, taking the advantage, taking the aggression to Qadsiah's offense, and Kellex is already down. A risky play to go this deep, but it pays off, and with just the Amp Matrix, they clean up this fight. 2 minutes on the clock, and Qadsiah struggling for answers, struggling to find a response here on the biggest stage of the year.
These are the same 2 teams we saw earlier in the day, because
doesn't feel like it, Matt.
It does not look like it right now. As Twisted Minds, you'll end up with a sound barrier coming in this fight. Next, really nice play there. Use the Amp Matrix to TP'd on through. It'll be the OC here from Labda. Finds Simple up on the high ground. That's huge.
Textbook play from Qadsiah.
Astro's going to play for beat.
Into that window. Still a retake on the cards. Quartz with an OC. You'd be crazy to bet against him. He does find one, but Checkmate gets the trade. Will he happy about that one? shuts down the OC. Qadsiah comfortable, holding on to this point, beat from Funny Astro. Kelix far away from the counter. But somehow Qadsiah living through it, surviving deep into this fight. Ziad is gonna go down, popping that self-destruct, but the stim wall protects from Yubi. Twisted Minds regrouping back into this court. Back any second now, and Ziad forced into a reset.
Oh, huge. I mean, they get the DMAC there on Ziad. He uses self-destruct, able to make it out. Yubi plays really nice here, gets to the health pack. Ziad will be forced to swap and swap back. I love the way that TM played, that they got inside, they waited for that sound barrier, they ran on out, pushed on through. Checkmate here with the wall. Kelix with a beat here, has to be good.
Crucial, Tim Wall forcing a response now, threatening the capture. Twisted Minds want to wait it out, want to delay to this very last second to use their annihilation.
And Matrix coming up.
Now he instantly pops it, but he's so low, taking immense pressure. Qadsiah keeping the aggression on. Ziad beat just in time, perfect from Kelix. And Ziad wastes no time, straight to the back line, takes out the sustain. Simple down, but Yubi energized in the back. Annihilation still running. Quartz, he's still alive. He's still kicking in this fight. Window misplaced from Landon. A crucial mistake, but he holds his nerve. And now,
you still have TVNT and Astro alive here, though. You're gonna have Simple coming up a spawn. TVNT just trying to juggle behind that phone booth there.
Sim is so strong here, Matt. So difficult to retake into. TVNT has to step up onto this point, but he's right into the car wash. Getting absolutely cooked by Qadsiah. And finally, some purchase of the series. They take King's Row first, and we've got a series.
Qadsiah, it is not easy, but they get first point. A sigh of relief there for Qadsiah and their fans. I mean, you don't get that checkpoint, you are in a rough spot mentally. Now they kind of get towards the second part of the map. You do have this OC to use here. Let's see if Lambda can come up with the goods, right? You know, winning this fight with just that OC would be massive.
Twisted Minds, they want to get a couple fights on King's Row second. They want to be aggressive, but they don't really have any tools to support it in terms of the ultimate economy, and so Card is rolling quite a bit here. Playing this slow, it's a risky gambit. Twisted Minds gonna step up now, taking a risk. Lambda all the way to the back line. Beat is good though. Up just in time for Funny Astro. Qadsiah still alive with 4, Landon's still healthy. And knowing this team, they're gonna take this test, they're gonna take this challenge.
Yes, they have flip sides of the map yet again. Sound barrier there, nice from Funny Astro, keeps everybody alive through the OC. Quartz with an overclock of his own, may not need it. Oh, finds Kelix there, trying to get out of harm's way, but Quartz does not miss.
He's just trying to regroup with his team. Checkmate opens with the wall, but it's countered by Yubi. Response is good, and Quartz. Oh, this is looking terrifying now. Qadsiah. No one has yet been able to stop this man. Sojourn taking over the lobby, and Quartz, he's got the OC.
Oh, but look at this, Landon. Up on the high ground, they found him. This is not oh wait, what?
Somebody had to stop Quartz. Landon says, fine, I'll do it myself. They come to contest him in the high ground, but it's too late, he rotates away. And finally, this is a chance for Qadsiah to take this player advantage. Twisted Minds, do you dare fight without your superstar hits? Maybe not a good idea.
No, you have to back up here. TVNT can poke a little bit, get this annihilation. Yubi is here with the TP. You can get another touch here as we get under 30 seconds.
Windows traded, Lambda finds Yubi. A huge opener, Lambda 1 HP, just barely staying alive. Ziad blocking all of this oncoming frontline pressure. Has the self-destruct available. Gonna pop it to get back into the suit. Twisted Minds backing up for now. Position split, but they're attacking from multiple angles. Qadsiah have to back up for the moment. This choke is so difficult to break. Kelix steps up, but Checkmate scared to swing the corner now. They commit for it, but remember, Quartz should be on their back soon. They like to go, chasing down this tank group.
Yeah, but Funny Astro's gonna get them away here, Jake.
Beautiful rotation there from the Twisted Minds main support. OC pop now by Quartz. Looking to punish, looking to take down Checkmate. Checkmate caught in his sights. Nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Quartz with 2, looking for more of the fight. 3! And he's just adding insult to injury now. Twisted Minds. What a hold. And this is a series that could maybe slip out of your grasp. Qadsiah, you can't let the momentum build. There's a lot of Overwatch to play. But this Twisted Minds team, they live for these moments. They live for that energy. Still staying very calm, very collected here, knowing that there are yet more tricks to be played. But Qadsiah, they've got to start showing them soon.
Protect Quartz at all costs for Twisted Minds. 7,500 damage in the first half. Lambda, obviously not as much in terms of the kill participation, but ends up beating out court in the overall damage. As we get into the second half. I mean, Landon with some truly epic stuff up on the high ground, taking the battle there. 2 courts in the one-on-one. Ziad, nice use of the self-destruct there, actually pushed TVNT around the corner, so the annihilation didn't really even last for long from that Ramatra. But Funny Astro and Yubi doing a great job using their mobility tools with the Lucio speed and the Sim TP. Let's just kind of out-rotate Qadsiah. Qadsiah goes on the hunt, cannot find Twisted Minds, and ends up in a really rough spot, just running directly in, head first to Quartz's OC.
And Ziad, not finding much to write home about here on the Diva, is going to simplify things. Come over to the Ramatra mirror, a time-honored strategy. If you can't beat him, join him. And in a series with this much at stake, you've got to adapt to the flow of the game. It's leaning heavily Ramatra as Quartz, looking for an off angle here, holding on this TP.
It feels like, though, Jake, with the less Diva in the mix, that is exactly what TM wants to do. Ziad pushes on forward, finds Simple, so that is the map piece out of the equation. We'll see if maybe there's a change here. You know, Twisted Minds could go, potentially play that Diva if they wanted to. So Labda
takes Quartz out of the air there, a parting message, says there's 2 soldiers on this server, and he'll need to keep performing if they want to go to the distance against Twisted Minds, but it's off to a good start this round.
Maybe you think back, Labda, teammates of Quartz for ages, you know, not really known as a hit scan player, finds himself on Qadsiah this year and is more than proven himself.
Oh, looks like we got a server crash. Oh no, players are still in, we're good. Qadsiah. Oh, yo, yo.
An interesting spot there from Labda.
That's crazy, he took the flying Ramatra perk.
The EMEA special, so it looks like that's probably just an observer. That we are still in game. That would be a very intense pause if that was a pause, so most likely the game's still going on. As we jump back into it, I would dare to say this is probably not the game as well.
Well, it looks like they're capping, actually.
Yeah, Twisted Minds definitely looks like they're capping here. Funny Astro dodges something. You still have the Ram on the point, so they haven't decided to make any changes here. It is actually a sim wall that comes through here. It's Qadsiah here. This is them up on the high ground with that Amp Matrix.
We'll see if it's enough to open up this cap. I hope you'll bear with us as we look to get these resolved.
We still have a fight over the point here. Qadsiah, Twisted Minds. This is a sim wall here from the defensive side of things. Looks like it is Twisted Minds here. Okay, so for my money, it looks like getting very close to taking this first checkpoint, which they just do.
Okay, we're back into it. And I mean, TM off to a hot start. Qadsiah committed heavily, trying to hold on to that first point, and it's hard to blame them. They know what's at stake. Kings Row second. Their last hold on this map. I mean, you have to play near perfect to win in the streets ways. I don't think we've seen a single other team do it here so far in this tournament.
And obviously we missed a little bit there, apologies, but you can see that Qadsiah ends up investing a lot of ultimates on the defensive side of things there. They have to go all in, try and get that hold. The take not exactly easy there for TM. It's going to be Annihilation Sound Barrier combination here as TVNT just laying down the damage, nobody able to get out of his sights.
He's getting a lot done in this front line. Qadsiah like for the fast fight. Getting that fast reset now. And I mean, it's going to be a desperate run to the cart. Maybe just one last contest and still minutes on the clock. I mean, Twisted Minds playing with the house cash here, and Qadsiah desperate to find anything in this series. I mean, to go down like this, 2-0, a mental blow, which would be so hard to recover from.
Yeah, and going down 2-0, kind of playing your own game here. Qadsiah needs Labda to do something heroic here. Labda and Landon getting close to an Amp Matrix.
Frontline pressure now, immense. Twisted Minds looking for any opening. Landon forced into that drone. No defensive, rips the window on the high ground, but Quartz has already found Kellex. Landon soon to follow. Quartz with 2 in the fight. And it's just Ziad and Labda trying to hold on. Player advantage to Twisted Minds. They look to clean up on Kings Row, and Quartz does it again. He just can't miss. Twisted Minds, obliteration in this series, cutting a bloody path through the opponents.
TM takes a 2-0 lead. A pretty commanding one in that. They do such a great job, not just like, we talk about how Qadsiah does a great job just kind of moving Ziad around the map there on the D.Va with the Sim TP. On the other side of things though, Quartz just getting these off angles so fast. With the Sim, you don't know where those railgun shots are coming from. You turn around because one just kind of drills your teammate, takes them out, and guess what? Quartz is now on the other side of the map so fast, using that TP back and forth. It feels like TM in full control right now, 2-0 in the set. And you see these constant bans come out here from Qadsiah, trying to protect this Ziad D.Va. Maybe you got to think about going in another direction, because it feels like Twisted Minds. Those are easy reads for them at the moment.
Yeah, they look so much more comfortable now on the Sim. And you talked about that momentum, Matt. Coming into this match, being able to play exactly what you've practiced. You tried one look with Psycho, but then Yubi building some momentum in that Crazy Raccoon series says, hey, give me a shot. He'll take more than that. He'll take 2 maps back to back. And Quartz is just disgusting. Landon finding some incredible counter kills on this Baptiste.
It's not like Landon in Labda. They have put up some sick numbers throughout this series as well. Dude, it just feels like every time this guy Quartz, he's got an overclock, it's like 3 dead. It's unreal. You would think his overclock had like tack visor attached to it or something. You see here, mid-slide being able to find players. Just dominating. And TVNT, obviously, we talk a lot about Ziad and how great he is as a tank. TVNT, KSA, kind of trading minutes for this team for a lot of the year. Towards the end, though, it is clear TVNT is the go-to. And, he puts himself, like, when you watch these two play D.Va, obviously Ziad tremendous. TVNT is not that far off. It's not like this massive gap between the two. So even protecting that D.Va still unlocks something good here for TM. It'll be a Qadsiah map pick here coming up next. So for Alcad, do you want to see them go? So you would typically say like Shambali, right? Maybe, but Shambali actually plays pretty well for TM because they have probably a better option of playing some of those double flex backlines. And if you don't ban one for Alcad, then they could just get rid of the D.Va and you're in like a Ramatra mirror there.
Talking about those backlines, we got to talk about Funny Astro. He has been so sharp, so clean this series. Honestly, I don't know that we've seen a mistake from him. Incredibly clean play on the Lucio, consistently having the faster beats and turning those into fight wins. Not just building it faster, not just having the superior deathmatch, but actually finding those decisive moments to beat aggressively. So risky sometimes in this comp with the Sim, the Lucio. They can be so evasive and escape away from those pushes, and yet Funny Astro keeps finding the opportunity, and yet without ever seeming to go down first.
You see, Funny Astro obviously on one side, Kellex on the other there with Landon. These teams and these players really just kind of EMEA as a region has not seen success like this basically since Overwatch launched. And these players have been playing since that time, grinding their way up through different iterations of Overwatch Esports, different programs. And it just kind of hit me that, like, obviously this is the World Finals on the line, but like somebody like Kellex, who's been around forever, who's been trying to get to this moment, both these teams take care of the Korean juggernauts that we have in Overwatch Esports, and that is still not going to be enough for one of them to host a trophy at the end. That is brutal stuff thinking about that, but for TM, you have to be feeling amazing right now. 2-0 up in the set. Qadsiah with another map selection here, Jake. New Junk City. So we'll see what they decide to do in terms of the bans.
As Qadsiah take us to New Junk City once again. It's going to be a tank protect ban here. The Sojourn, interestingly banned out here by Twisted Minds. Kind of a wild ban. I mean, maybe you just, like, why? I can't imagine, actually. Why would you ever take this away from Quartz, considering what he just did the last two maps?
Right, I mean, this is a Qadsiah map selection, and they do get the first ban. So they do yet again go to protect another tank.
They won't back down.
So I don't hate the idea of banning the Soj, if I'm honest with you, from TM.
Really?
We have seen Quartz pull up some amazing games on the Freya, on the Cassidy.
True, it's a great map for Cassidy, right? The range much shorter.
But Lambda on the other side just had a fantastic game on the Soj, and Lambda doesn't really play the Freya, so you know it's going to be a Cassidy on the other side, most likely. Throughout all of EMEA, Lambda really, even when Freya was good, he was playing Soj and Cassidy. They did not like to go to it whatsoever. True. So this is a really targeted ban here from TM. A lot of faith in Quartz that regardless of whether the Soj is in or out, Cassidy or Freya, he's going to come through.
In fairness, right, it's that aim, right? It's the ability to be so calm, so dialed in under pressure. And that's the thing about Quartz, man. The greater the pressure gets, the better he seems to play, just hardening. Resistant, resilient against any attack. It's going to have to be a mighty effort for Qadsiah to shift the momentum in this series. But remember that, Matt. Remember that series against Crazy Raccoon, right?
Yeah.
They lost map 1. Map 2, full held on Shambali Monastery. And just through sheer grit and determination, they make the fuller hold. They begin to build momentum, and they're able to come back and win that series. And in the first to 4 format, you have time to find your footing in the series, but it's slipping through your fingers like so many grains of sand right now, Matt.
You have time in a first to 4, you are correct. But I feel like that time is past, as TM is up 2-0 in our World Finals here against Qadsiah. And it feels like, though, Jake, I mean, the must-win of must-win maps here for Qadsiah. You go down here, shades of the mid-season championship, where you make it all the way for Qadsiah and come up with nothing. Yet again, you would kind of falter at that final moment on the international stage. This time, it's your inter-region rival, Matt number 3 here, ready to kick off in just a sec as the doors open.
They're tripling down. The Diva once again, Ziad. He's found so many kills, but they haven't been able to piece together these team fights. Yubi has just been cooking on the sim. And now, Quartz on the Cassidy, unleashed on one of the iconic hit scan of Overwatch. Twisted Minds, twisting the screws, pushing in. Qadsiah falling back for the moment. Point about to unlock.
So TP comes down, and they actually don't decide to take it. Quartz actually tries to take an off angle there. Maybe he can catch players on Qadsiah running away. Yubi gonna have this TP available to use. See how they decide to do it. High ground here for Qadsiah.
He's running out of cooldowns on Ram. Form to expire soon. Funny Astro goes down. Qadsiah wait them out, grinding out the cooldowns. Lambda strikes first blood on the map. A second to follow. And Qadsiah's turn for a decisive team fight. And I sense a momentum shift here. Man, I mean, that was a very patient team fight from an Qadsiah that could be rattled in this moment, that could be maybe a weaker team, would be mentally starting to lose their grip on this series, but they really played that to perfection.
Yeah, they TP up, they take some high ground control there from Twisted Minds, and Twisted Minds has no way to really get that back, obviously not playing Diva. So we'll see with Qadsiah in control of the point here. Can they get a flashpoint on the board here early as they push in? They're gonna move through the car wash here. The Sim TPs deployed by Checkmate. Gonna get above 50% here on our first flashpoint. The Landon with the Kitsune Rush already, most likely for Twisted Minds. You're working towards your farming that up going into the next fight.
Yeah, they need this rush to begin the fight. Qadsiah playing this slow and careful, kiting away around the high ground. And Twisted Minds sort of caught in the loop of chasing here, hunting for kills, but Qadsiah don't give them anything. Cautious positioning from the supports. And as the time starts to run down, TM need to make something happen here. They need to step to the point. And Lambda waiting for that, waiting for any opportunity to strike.
So much more patience here from Qadsiah.
Beautiful from Quartz.
And you find Landon. Landon has that Kitsune Rush, decides not to invest it at the moment. Everybody from Qadsiah gonna hightail it out in that situation. So TP and Quartz around the map with that Deadeye. Qadsiah though, Jake, not out of it just yet. 99% here on our first flashpoint. All 5 ultimates available here at the ready coming up. Double support ultimate for TM though. So you can invest pretty heavily if you are them in this fight. You get a hold here, you may be able to steal this first flashpoint.
Rushes pops, front line sprawling, Labda with the high noon. Can he make the difference? Steps to the wall, TP behind. But the sim wall protects here. Yubi keeps the team alive. Beat comes in from Funny Astro, but it's too late. TVNT is down. Qadsiah, player advantage in the fight. Tank is down, but Twisted Minds have been known to fight back in these scenarios before. Ziad wants to ensure that cannot happen, but Quartz is still standing tall. And Ziad with the pistol, the Bunny Blaster. It's enough. And that will be Qadsiah capturing a point here on Flashpoint.
But you still have Funny Astro here. Oh, no, not going to be able to make it out, get a touch. But the beat comes down just a hair late there for Funny Astro. Not able to keep TVNT up. Quartz also doesn't get the benefits of the sound barrier there. Maybe a little bit of a better beat from Funny Astro, and things work out differently there in our first point. Ziad will get his mech back, just putting down some damage across the map. This will allow Twisted Minds, though, to get control of this high ground first.
And the patience from Qadsiah has so far been paying off. But that first flashpoint really does allow more of that kiting strategy. TVNT wants to get in, Tango aggressively in the front line, but Qadsiah hasn't been letting him do that. Now Twisted Minds say, okay, we'll slow it down too. We'll match you on some of these slower trades. No one touching the point for the moment. Both teams not wanting to yield any position for the incoming fight.
So difficult to get this Ramatra out of these positions. Nemesis form gone. They actually go right on past. Does not matter. They take out Simple, TP across. It'll be TM, though, getting control of this point.
It's the dream first kill, taking down the enemy Kiriko. And both of these teams, you can tell they're just experts at this style. They know. No use continuing that fight without the Kiriko. No chance to sustain through. Instead, they reset. But it's Qadsiah now with the point control.
You're back pretty quick here. If you're Twisted Minds, Deadeye TP combination available to be used. Let's see if they decide to kind of throw that out into the mix. Quartz was able to find one the last time we saw them. Combo that also now with some poke damage coming on in. Simple gonna be able to get this Kitsune rush.
Qadsiah poking very well right now. I mean, checkmate Labda standing tall with so much confidence on this high ground. Twisted Minds, TP up to the high ground, take the fight. Simple, pops that rush to High Noon, very channel, huge risk here. Labda and Quartz both find one, but Ziad makes the difference with the player advantage. Yubi so low now, falls as well. And Qadsiah bat away that aggression with ease, with comfort. Rushes traded High Noons as well, but you're very happy to be in this position. TVNT being stalled out. A bit greedy from Qadsiah, but it pays off as now Quartz goes over to that Freya you talked about, but without TVNT, a recontest is a fraught proposition to say the least.
No, you're giving up this flashpoint, and now Qadsiah showing signs of life 2-0 in terms of flashpoints here, an opportunity to get a map on the board. So rotation here from Twisted Minds, still gonna get over towards this point, actually a little bit late because Qadsiah, the mobility of this comp, the Diva's been so strong. You see why they try and protect it for Ziad. Just a master at piloting this hero. They TP down, see if they can catch anybody on the flank. Don't find anybody back to the point.
Yubi has this sim wall. First is opened by checkmate. Later by Yubi, so has a little bit of a time advantage in this fight. Qadsiah may have to play this one slow. They do have that self-destruct on Ziad point about to open. Twisted Minds with the positional advantage. The TP flips the map. The beat aggressive here from Kellic. Funny Astro with the later beat to respond. It doesn't come into Yubi though. Labda on the off angle, staying alive. Both teams resetting, relatively healthy. Ziad loses mech, but has that self-destruct for the retake. Twisted Minds low for now. Yubi goes down, landed. A crucial opening kill. Labda in the sightlines, taking it to TVNT, who's low, who does fall, but not before striking second blood.
He binds too.
It's a 3-on-3. It's two supports and Quartz, the hero so many times for this Twisted Mind squad. But Ziad in with the Bunny Blaster, absolutely fearless in the front line, and it will yield a first cap for Qadsiah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just initial control over the point. And look at this, Jake, a change here for TM. They are gonna go over to the Zarya. I've not seen much Zarya in this series yet at all. But this time it's gonna be TVNT using that Zarya to really put some pressure on his Ziad.
He gets back into that suit though. More fights to be played. Kelix and Labda somehow find kills. TVNT punishes checkmate for it, but he's low. Funny Astro as well, hunted down by the young gun Diva. Ziad with yet more. Quartz touches the point but cannot finish the flip. And Qadsiah on the verge of a dominant flashpoint. I mean, this is a map that, talk about a tempo shift in the series. Despite being up 2-0, it's Twisted Minds forced to blink first, forced to swap away from their preferred style.
a must-win map for Qadsiah, and they are most certainly playing like it. There's likely one more fight here on this flashpoint. Bola shot here from Quartz, takes a lot of poke damage there from Checkmate. So he's trying to work his way through.
The tempo advantage. Ziad zones away, they're split. They don't know what to do. Heinun still channel, damage is good onto Astro. And they can't even touch the point. Qadsiah finding the fortitude, finding the veterancy. We saw in the pre-match, Landon dapping up the teammates, talking with each other. They stayed focused, they stayed disciplined. And we talked about this. The mental fortitude from Junkbuck of all people to refuse to back down, believing that they can win with this D.Va style. And they showed how they can do it on Flashpoint. This is a very significant moment in this series. You are up 2-1 as Twisted Minds, but Qadsiah have shown an adaptation here that demands a response.
I think the issue here, though, Jake, obviously, Qadsiah, you have to do what you have to do to get a map win. The players all will take a little bit of a breather here, but Qadsiah, with all of these map selections, you've been able to protect that D.Va. Now, obviously, Qadsiah taking this must-win map, that is going to be an option on the table to get rid of. And you see why they want to get rid of it. Ziad, 24-0 there.
Oh my God.
On New Junk City.
Crushing performance. Titanic from the frontliner.
Just absolutely farming on the D.Va. And also, Labda had a great game on the Cassidy. Definitely outplayed Quartz. Comp that I think Qadsiah a little bit more comfortable running than what we see from the Twisted Minds side. But if you're TM, you have to look at this as a little bit of a positive moment where, look, we got our 2 maps. We're still up in the series. We have our map selection. We still have the D.Va ban available. That, hey, still going up 3-1 puts us in a commanding spot. TM cannot get down on themselves just yet. Qadsiah do swing back, do get a map win on the board, but still, Escort, a map pool where you have maps like Dorado, things like that, you could get rid of the D.Va, make it really difficult for Ziad. Some other maps there. Shambali Monastery, you think towards that, right? Getting rid of the D.Va there, playing a double flex backline could be really strong for Twisted Minds. A huge map selection coming up here, a huge first ban for TM.
The inflection point in the series could be for Qadsiah if they can continue it, if they can win, and I think you're very much right, Matt. I expect the D.Va ban to come out. But Ziad, think about through the course of the day and through the course of the tournament. The Ram has looked great at times. The Zarya has looked immaculate, looked fantastic. And so, honestly, I think this is anybody's game. Still a lot of Overwatch left to be played.
Yeah, a really huge map coming up in just a bit. But before we get there, let's go to Zoe and the Des to get their thoughts on a crazy first 3 maps.
Thank you so much. Looking dapper, the 2 of you, by the way. We're back here on the desk with also dapper Avril and the ever so lovely Necro. Let's break it down. Listen, you guys did pick out Qadsiah to win this one thus far. It is Twisted Minds in the driver's seat. Mind the last map here. Let's talk about overall, though, our expectations for this match. The first time they met in the upper bracket final, we did not get to see UB in the mix. We did get to see Psycho being swapped in to play that Tracer. That did not work against the very competent Qadsiah Symmetra strat. But this time around, it is UB in, and they are taking that Symmetra mirror. What changed?
Right, I think it's just the confidence, UB ends up subbing himself into this roster to be able to play for the Twisted Minds, and the fact that he has been such a core piece of glue just to make sure that this roster is playing together, I do think that ended up working out for them in the first 2 maps.
I think it's some of the leadership needing to come in from UB side of view as POV rather for Twisted Minds, but also the fact that it's more difficult to be the team trying to counter the Symmetra composition rather than the team that plays it. UB knows how to play it. Twisted Minds know how to play it. You saw what happened when Falcons and Crazy Coon tried to counter it. They couldn't do it. You saw what happened when Twisted Minds in the upper bracket tried to counter it. They couldn't get it done either. It is just easier for them to be the team that also matches Symmetra. If you can't beat it, then join it.
and it has worked out phenomenally so far, or at least on New Junk City. But for the first 2 maps, it did feel like Twisted Minds, they definitely had the great read. I think Quartz as well, being able to just play the Freya, it was such a star, and you get a chance to see the highlight package here from Quartz going through the first 3 maps of the series. And that's why we look at him as a potential MVP of this tournament as well as this grand finals. Whether it has been the Freya, the Sojourn, we also saw a little bit of the Cassidy as well in the New Junk City because that Sojourn had been banned out. I think that he's looked amazing, and he's been a really core staple of this team.
And this is the other thing, is banning out Qadsiah Sojourn from Twisted Minds POV is a really interesting choice to make, because that has probably been his most consistent hero. However, the belief system from TM says that they would rather have a Lambda without a Sojourn than worry about Quartz without Sojourn, because they believe, look, we'll just have no Sojourn. Lambda won't have it, Quartz won't have it. We're going to come down to Cassidy perhaps, and Quartz will just win that battle, which is exactly what happened. And look, honestly, so the ban situation has been really kind of crazy, because Qadsiah has done like 3 tank bans in a row. I think Junkbuck is protecting something on that side.
He must, yeah. And I mean, it was a big question mark. What are you banning for 2 teams that do have similar hero pools and similar styles that they like to play?
Some of them have to be a bit throwaway, right? You have such a long series.
The Hawk,
you should expect. You should definitely expect to see some of them, though, at least be, hey, we can save the really strategic bans, or the ones that are really going to kind of hit where it hurts the most, for later on in the series. Because if it goes to 7 maps, then you're going to need to have some of that gas left in the tank. So Reinhardt, you can make a case for the Roadhog, though. They definitely do look like protection bans as much as just like throwaway for later.
You definitely can't make a case for the ball, unfortunately, because there's no ball players among the tanks available in these 2 teams. So what I'm really seeing here for Qadsiah is they want to just, in my mind, protect the D.Va, right? Ziyad's been mainly playing a lot of D.Va. They're shying away from wanting to go into the Ram mirror. I think for Twisted Minds, far more willing to put TVNT on towards the Ramatra. And for Qadsiah, you know, this is, so far, it could be that Junkbuck is just saving better bans for later on in the series, because, you know, we could go to 7 here, but you've also just now lost 2 maps. So this is the other side of that tail side of the coin flip, where are you saving strats? Possibly, but are you 2 maps down for that stake? Yes.
But now that Qadsiah have won, you have to look at this next map and say, well, is a D.Va ban going to be on the horizon? Because if Qadsiah have been protecting that for so long, now they kind of can't do that. So with Qadsiah winning, Twisted Minds now get a chance to have their map pick, and with that ban coming through as well, it could be the D.Va.
And I also want to point out some of the support bans that Twisted Minds are going for. Map 1, Lucio, Map 2, Kiriko. They're really trying to also prevent the Zarya from showing up on the Alcad side as well, because, you know, they're removing some of the speed boost, some of the sound barrier that would be really helping out the Zarya. They're removing the Kiriko as well. Some of the key pieces of the Zarya comp is going to be the Lucio and the Kiriko, so pushing things more towards the Lucio BAP. So you're seeing, starting to see just more of that Ziyad D.Va. Obviously, D.Va playing well with that Symmetra, but part of that is now going to come through where we're setting up the fact that map 4, with Twisted Minds now being in the driver's position to actually have a ban. I think D.Va has to be top of the list.
We've already seen some really important support bans, though, and I actually kind of wonder what's left, because you mentioned the Lucio, the Kiriko. That has been sort of a staple for both Landon Kelix as well as this backline of Simple and Funny Astro. But do you ever consider banning out like a BAP?
I don't think it's as valuable. I think the Lucio Kiriko is far more prevalent in this series so far. Just take a look at TVNT stats. Obviously playing a little bit more Ramatra. He's even do the Nemesis blocking pose.
Has to be like more in front of his face though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
TVNT forever.
Face card isn't hitting if you block that one.
So true.
No, you gotta keep that one alive and kicking. Yeah, man. I mean, this could be, of course, the start of a comeback for Qadsiah. What do you feel Twisted Mind has to do to stop them in the track?
It definitely comes, I think, in the form of a D.Va ban. And the fact that they've already won 2 maps in the series, they are open to that. But I think there's also another piece of the equation. What if we end up seeing a swap come in from Twisted Minds to bring Psycho in?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to end up happening, but it could still come through. I still suspect a Symmetra ban at some point. And actually, the more I think about it, the more likely I believe it may actually come to the Alcad side. And the reason why is because if Yubi is in, obviously we see the substitutions up first, and if Yubi isn't subbed out and that ban is available from the Alcad side, they ban away the Sim, they take away Yubi's Sim. I think the rest of Yubi's hero pool will be hurt a lot more than Checkmate's hero pool in terms of, okay, they can both play the Tracer and the Mei, but Checkmate has been mechanically the better player on those heroes. So actually, I think Alcad at some stage may opt for a Sim ban as well.
Especially because we still have Push in the pool. That is definitely a map that you could use that on.
I was just about to ask, where do you think Twisted Minds is going to be most comfortable heading towards in our next map?
ban away the Diva.
Play Kings Row, New Drink City.
I think they're both pretty good. I think both Push and also Flashpoint. I think Flashpoint may be a good one to get rid of that Diva coming through. But
we just played New Junk.
Yeah.
So you could do like that on Dorado or something like that.
Yeah,
if
actually
you go
Dorado,
to
no Diva. Push it more towards a Ram, I guess.
I see the coaching gears turning. I'm loving it. I mean, we can only guess here on the desk, of course, that the teams are still discussing. They're trying to figure out where they're headed next. Again, quick reminder, of course, that Twisted Minds, they are self-coached, self-taught little crew there. Yubi taking a big portion of that coaching, but he did say in the interview that it is a team effort, and they kind of just talk amongst each other. So there's no preset game plan. I think when you're team led like that, then a lot of it just comes down to the feeling, the vibes, whatever just happened in the last map.
And on the opposite end, you got Junkbuck in the dugout somewhere. He's really trying to figure out, how far he can push, just kind of protecting the tank spot for now, but also, as you sort of mentioned, Rose, maybe doing a couple of throwaway bans. Definitely the Wrecking Ball and Roadhog would seem to fall into line with that. And the concern here is, well, they have lost a couple of maps, so at some point, if Twisted Minds, they're 2-1 here, they hit that 3 and they reach match point, and we then hit that map 6 scenario that I talked about, guess what? TM will be in the driver's seat. They get to pick the map 6, reset the map pool, and go anywhere they want.
That's where you were getting ahead of yourself, I think, with the Flashpoint with the Symmetra ban, right?
I mean,
because we could
go back to a Flashpoint.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Well, for now, it's Qadsiah who has to catch up. Twisted Minds currently in the driver's seat. 2-1 the score. It's a 1st to 4 series here in the grand finals between the two teams. So let's send it back over to our casters.
Thank you so much, Zoe. And the stage is set for a beautiful series here. I mean, I was a little worried on those opening 2, Matt, that we were in for a bit of a beatdown. But Qadsiah pull it together in a very big way. And the fact that Twisted Minds feel the need to swap near the end of that map, I mean, there's a little bit of confidence slippage there. And honestly, I felt that there was a massive stylistic shift from Qadsiah in that 3rd map. They really slowed the pace of the game down. They waited out those Ram cooldowns. Instead of making these aggressive TP plays and brawling where TVNT on the Ram is just getting work done, you slow things down, you make this a game of poke, whereas the odds Diva is eating up all that damage the Quartz would love to be putting in.
Yeah, and obviously we don't know the map selection just yet coming on through, so Push or Escort would be the ones we would see. I think we're going to Shambali. I think you could... Do you get rid of the Diva here?
It's got to be a Diva. I mean, the way Qadsiah are banning, it's really telegraphed. I think that they want to play this Diva. They think they can win the matchup against Ram. And honestly, I agree with them from what I've seen across the whole tournament. This series has been a little bit closer. But you do have the Sim ban in reserve if you want to respond with it. And instead, it's going to be Route 66. I think this is because TM actually know that the Sim ban could come in here. They should expect it. Because if they do ban Diva, that's a very powerful tool you have to attack Yubi with. And instead, it's actually, interesting, it'd be the Wu Yang ban in response.
So I thought they would actually go to Shambali because they have the option for TM to play some of these the Wu Yang kind of compositions, right? With Bunny Astro, he's been nuts on it.
That's true. It's another really impactful ban because it targets the flexibility of the TM backline that we've been highlighting.
So it gets rid of one of the big tools on the Twisted Minds side. And this is the Diva ban burn. Route 66 as the map selection. That one definitely catches me a little bit off guard because this is not this map wouldn't strike me as a strong sim map either.
And the other thing about Shambali is that, yes, you might get sim banned, but Yubi could go to the May and still look very solid as he has in the past. So,
or win it through the backline. Win it with a Wu Yang Kiri backline, right? That they most likely can't answer to the same effect. So definitely an interesting strat here for TM. This is not one that I think either of us expected. Now you also, the sim ban could come into play. Let's say, if TM were to lose this, we go 2-2. Now you pick a Runa Sapi, let's say. Qadsiah could get rid of it there, right? And which Runa Sapi is a very good sim map. So maybe you do pick this though, Jake. Some longer sight lines here. You can play the Freya, get some high ground, and Lambda, as I was talking about, doesn't exactly want to go to that at times. Would much rather prefer to play the Sojourn.
Freya versus the Soj. An interesting matchup. I don't think it's that favored one way or the other. Really up to these players. And Qadsiah, they've done this on many maps before, setting up very aggressively. Could look for 3 defensive fights on this first point. So look out for the very aggressive moves, the quick resets from these defenders. Twisted Minds, as they come out of the gates, they need to read this hold instantly and decide their response. This should be well drilled for them.
So Quartz, it's right around the corner, knows there's going to be players here holding close. Kellex takes some shots. Ziad gets right in there, body blocks it, eats some of the damage.
Quartz fearlessly wide on this angle. Takes a bit of pressure, but continues to put it down. Ziad getting low, needs a lot of support to stay alive. Starting to tick down. Twisted Minds inching the cart forward. Qadsiah can't allow it if they want to multi-fight this map, but Ziad just runs out of gas. Labda finds one, but this close to the TM spawn, any trade is a good one. And Labda sacking on the cart, taking the reset. Kellex as well.
And Twisted Minds, they definitely look more comfortable than Qadsiah playing some of these Ramatra-based comps. It's not like Ziad can't play the Ram.
But this is TM's map to win.
This is what TM wants to do. So, Fort's already basically near a bola shot. You see Ziad almost dead before he can even get in. Vortex thrown in. Gonna slow down the advance here from Alcad.
It's a very early push from TM. If Qadsiah could just weather the storm, they've got a lot of cart time to give up. And as the cooldowns run low, hold on, Kellex caught in the flank. Quartz shut down. Funny Astro reading that play beautifully, and Quartz looking for more, dives in on top of the sim. TV from Checkmate slows the play down, and it's gonna turn into a final retake. But now, very telegraphed. Quartz knows exactly where they're coming from. Ziad into the car wash on the Ram, being cooked from all angles. Landon doesn't find the chance to pop the Kitsune rush just yet, and Twisted Minds snowball through first point.
And they are just punishing Ziad as he tries to move into some of these chokes. The Vortex in the mix after all that damage that comes down from Quartz. And then Quartz just watching another angle. Kellex is going to go out there, try and contest, stop that payload from moving. Does not even make it. Hit with a bola shot. Let's look at this. I mean, the car washed it up here.
Oh my.
Quartz getting control of high ground. The Vortex, the slow. You don't want to push out of here. It feels so brutal.
Yeah, they're coming down to the bottom right here. A wise decision. Maybe can path directly to the payload. Bypass this Twisted Minds high ground hold. TP out for now. Into the house, straight into the fight. Landon rips the rush. They're on top of TVNG, hitting him from multiple angles. Punished on the forward tank from Twisted Minds. They hold the rush for now, but this looks very solid for Qadsiah, retaking the map. They do not want to give up trades here. Want to assert full dominance. Quartz up on the high ground, looking for kills on his way out. And he will find Labda. That's a beautiful final kill to find. It will open a power play for TM on the next retake.
But those are the types of fights you want to take if you're Qadsiah, right? You're stuck in these chokes. You go to that high ground. You're not able to get out. You have to move fast through those chokes. And they're actually able to get rid of TVNT. Now the rush comes in from Landon. They're able to get rid of TVNT. He's got the Annihilation rolling. It wasn't impactful at all.
Now an unanswered rush. OC pop from Labda. The stim wall up in his face. Will he step through it? So risky to make that move. Yubi takes a huge risk coming through that. But the stim wall zones them away for now. Qadsiah playing this flow. That is rush and stim wall out. I mean, these are powerful ults deployed. Qadsiah staying alive. Now it's their turn. Popping the stim wall, creating all the space. Twisted Minds have to fall back. Have to play this high ground, but they're happy to have this position.
I mean, this is where TM wants to play. You get control of this high ground. They're not exactly going to TP in on you. You have the cart. The map is somewhat flipped.
Quartz has so much room to work. The beat protects. Funny Astro with a much later beat. TM starting to pull this card away. Ziad, the Annihilation, keeping him alive for now. Denying some of this aggression is now Qadsiah, since it's their turn, stepping up, putting the pressure onto his DM. The high ground control means everything to Labda's so incredibly low. Damage from Quartz though cannot get cleaned up. And it's this duel on the high ground feels so important. Labda, Quartz, old friends, now enemies across the table. Ziad goes down to Yubi, and the pressure maybe getting to Qadsiah. The rush comes in from Landon, but already 2 bodies down. Labda finds one back, but surely a healthy TVNT will clean this up, and it's Quartz on the high ground, undeterred.
I mean, he is just uncontested up there on the high ground, just kind of vomiting damage down onto the side of Qadsiah, as that'll be a second point here for Twisted Minds. As they're gonna ditch that Soch, gonna go over to the Cassidy. So they definitely want to play a little bit more brawly with this type of hit scan.
Yeah, and a tool that could limit Quartz, especially as we come into this inside portion of the map.
I mean, some sick ultimate advantage here for Twisted Minds as well.
Flanking TP, very nice. Bola shot doesn't seem to find much for the moment, and Labda punishes Quartz the counter pick. Working for now, the rush out from Simple, but Ziad denying the movement of the cart, can't hold it any longer. Yubi comes in with a TP, finds 2, and now Qadsiah forced into a desperate reset. A more expensive fight than TM would have liked, though. I think that's the best you could hope for from Qadsiah in that engagement. Draining a few of these key teamfight ultimates, looking to make a hold on Route 66 last point.
The sim wall here is going to be crazy in terms of strength.
So true.
As we get towards the end of the map, maybe one more fight here for Qadsiah on their defensive side. Sim wall comes out. It's going to split off this high ground.
Ziad steps up to the plate, but he's all alone. He's isolated behind this sim wall. Getting poked from all angles. Ziad goes down. The Sports just can't get him in that angle. Qadsiah down players, the cart rolling forward. Someone has to touch. Someone has to be the hero. But Quartz continuing to put that pressure on. Yubi doing the most as well. And Qadsiah just cannot make its key objective. TM, an absolute blitz offense on Route 66, and Qadsiah left scrambling, looking for answers without that trademark diva.
So you see why all of those tank bans coming in from Qadsiah, protecting the diva of Ziad. Obviously, can play multiple heroes, but as we saw there on New Junk City, just dominant on the diva. We take a look at the stats. Some brutal ones on the side of Qadsiah, as that was as good as it gets there from Twisted Minds on offense here on Route 66. Jake, they finished with above 2 minutes in the time bank. That's like an eternity on this map. Very difficult to complete Route 66.
Yeah, to do it with more than 2 minutes in the time bank is insane. I mean, we almost never see a dominant map finish like this. So Twisted Minds making a compelling argument here that that last map on New Junk City was just an aberration, looking to go up 3-1 in the series to put themselves on the verge of claiming our OWCS 2025 World Finals trophy. Waiting out there tantalizingly in the middle of the stage. They've got to earn it. Still more to be played, and Qadsiah, what do they have? How can they bring this back? You just have to get this over the line in OT. You just have to trigger one more round.
As the gates open, it'll be Qadsiah coming out, playing that Sojourn yet again. Labda's preferred option in terms of the hit scan. Quartz, though, on the Freya. That consistent damage, time and time again, putting pressure onto Ziad. Already a little uncomfortable, not piloting the diva. So you see Ziad rounds the corner, shots going in over the shield. The main tank of Qadsiah here from Quartz. He has been able to farm these Bola shots up rather quickly. Nemesis form here used by Ziad as they try and wrap.
Checkmate, taking an angle here onto the high ground. Twisted Minds patiently rotating away, running this clock out, kiting these Qadsiah players, but Qadsiah happy to have this high ground on Big Earls. A lot of position from which to work. And Quartz trying to strike back, but not finding the angles just yet. Does get a good connection on the lab, and the burst is good. Come on! This guy is unstoppable. TP over on the high ground. Kellex not ready for that rotate. Punished down. Yubi's right in the mix. And is desperate for Ziad. Checkmate looking for trades. They'll get nothing.
And I think Labda, like I had discussed, doesn't want to play the Freya, but at this point, you need to.
Has to.
You have to match that consistent damage output coming in from Quartz. But this is something that Twisted Minds, they obviously love to see. Their hit scan on one of his preferred heroes. Now Labda in a little bit of an uncomfortable spot. Can obviously play the Freya. Would much rather play the Sojourn or the Cassidy. Shots to the high ground here.
It's one thing to play the Freya, Matt. It's another thing to match Quartz. Firing on all cylinders, drops down to 1 HP, and the Sim Turret from Checkmate cleans him up. Labda finding a crucial kill, making this feel just possible. Simple drops the rush. They won't back down. They're continuing on in this fight. Landing a few percent away. Qadsiah weathering the storm for the moment. Yubi full energy on the Sim, but still traded. Rams both finding kills in this fight. And Qadsiah looking to clean this one up. They're gonna have to just fall back and push the cart. TM still alive, still holding map control, and right back into the engagement. TVNT wastes no time, gives up almost no cart pressure whatsoever.
It's a Bola shot that comes in from Quartz, doesn't connect with anybody. Double support ult available, but they lose Labda as the Kitsune Rush drops.
A furious barrage of Fist here, the Annihilation as well, but the Rush still deployed. Qadsiah strong as a unit here, fighting together, staying alive, using these reduced cooldowns, but they'll have to back off. Without Lambda, it's just too hard. You can't find that damage to overwhelm TVNT's front line.
Yeah, and he's got the Annihilation going at that moment, even though the rush is there for Qadsiah and Landon. TP to the high ground here for Qadsiah.
He's flanking, he's in behind, onto the Lucio, the explosive bolt connects, Kelix is down, and Quartz hunting for more, peeking from every angle. Feels like he's all over you in this map, playing as he pleases. Full resource from Funny Astro's Lucio. Some big bullets from Lambda are gonna slow him down for the moment though. Check that aggression.
This may allow though, Jake.
Quartz is down!
Oh, that's huge. Twisted Minds is gonna actually be Yubi with that stim wall. Bullet shot comes in from Lambda. Funny Astro holding on to this beat. Don't think you want to invest it just yet. The sim wall still protecting them.
TV behind, Yubi putting some big damage down. Lambda is low, remember Quartz coming back up the respawn soon. His fight is going very long, getting stale into the action. But finally, Qadsiah took almost the entire 4 minutes, but they'll get some momentum going. Twisted Minds still have one more shot at this.
You can get another fight here for TM, and you're gonna have double support ult. You're gonna have to be playing it into this Annihilation though, that's going to come in from Ziad, and most certainly a sound barrier as well. Quartz getting dangerously close to that bola shot we've seen time and time again. He drops those right on top of the TPs if you want to take it. One more fight here.
Rush on the point, full aggression, Lambda finds Quartz, a critical fight to win. The beat comes out from Astro and Kelix. Twisted Minds though, they're bloody and bruised. Qadsiah look to clean up this fight, keep us going on Route 66, but Yubi has found checkmate. He's still healthy on this sim. He's still standing tall, and somehow, TM, despite the pick, it's Yubi's turn to take over the game. Twisted Minds take a 3-1 lead in this series, put themselves on match point. Trophy only inches away now, a victory in their sights. They want to be our newest champions, and they just have to find one more map. 3 chances at it. Qadsiah must be perfect from here on out.
One more map for TM. Lab that gets the first pick there on the court. Support ult used there for TM. You think it might be good enough for Qadsiah. Yubi just a tank.
I mean, that honestly, you got to give so much credit to the support line from Twisted Minds.
Without
the fact
a doubt.
that you can lose Quartz and keep the composure, keep the faith on Yubi, keep him alive,
Yeah.
and clutching that fight. I mean, that's got to be a gut punch. Qadsiah must have felt they finally won that fight when Lambda opened up onto Quartz.
Yeah, and I mean, simple. 17-1,
Oof.
above 13K healing, above 6K damage. As we take a look at some of the highlights here, the Diva ban most certainly pays off here for Twisted Minds. So, you also see Quartz here on the Freya. Just a great map for the Freya. We thought potentially this is going to be a double, like maybe they go to Shambali, maybe they play that double flex support backline we've seen a lot of teams do. Simple and Funny Astro can most certainly do that. The Wuyong gone here, so not an option for Astro. But with that Diva gone and playing that Freya up in the sky, extreme long ranges, constantly pestering Ziad with damage, forcing out cooldowns, and then Yubi and Co. so smart, knows exactly when to go in with that Sim TP and the mobility. And Qadsiah, I mean, they put up a great fight here at the end, but no damage down onto Yubi. He is just dancing on through there, getting charged up on the Sim. And TM, they know they are in full control now of this series.
You can start to see it on their faces, the excitement creeping in. They just have to stay disciplined enough to find one more map, and surely with 3 chances, surely that trophy will be theirs, Matt.
So now, we go over to what will be a push map. New Queen Street or Runasapi. If you're asking me, it's most likely going to be Runasapi. A new Queen Street seems where teams would like to play the Winston, the ball, things along those lines. Potentially an option, though, for Qadsiah if you want to maybe take away some of the Freya, right? Sojourn really good on New Queen Street. So we will see where Qadsiah decides to take us.
This is a critical test for Qadsiah. It's going to be their last preferred ban of the series, their last chance to throw a haymaker, and you must turn the tide here. Ziad's Diva, though, will be back in for the remainder of the series.
That is true, Jake, but they were dealing with it early. It's just New Jung City that we see them not able to deal with that Diva pressure, that Ziad is putting on. It's the pressure all on Qadsiah to clutch up. They have been so good throughout EMEA all year long. They make it to the finals of our mid-season championship. Not good enough to get it done there. They run through teams here in Stockholm to make it to our world finals, going up against their rival who lately has had their number. And in this series, that looks like what is happening here. What is the response from Qadsiah? Tournament life on the line here coming in to this next map. Their map selection, their first map.
Obviously a must-win map for Qadsiah. You have to just be focused on this map. Just get one. Just keep the series going. You can't start to think about what lies ahead. The gauntlet, a map pool reset. If we go to maps 6 and 7 in this series, Twisted Minds is going to get a map pool reset. They can pick any map except for those that have been explicitly already picked in this series. So you could take us to Ilios. You could take us back to Escort. Reopening all of those options. So you have two incredibly powerful map picks coming down the barrel for Twisted Minds. But for Qadsiah, it's just a matter of survival now. Just getting to that point feels like a Herculean task.
To me, it doesn't even feel like Twisted Minds is thinking about that. They are thinking that they smell blood in the water.
They want to do it in one.
They can get this done here and now on our next map. So we take a look. It is grand final stats from the support line here of Funny Astral and Simple. Twisted Minds backline. And we haven't even really seen them flex to some of the stuff that we've seen throughout this tournament, where Funny Astro on the Wuyong putting out insane amounts of damage has not come into play just yet.
Funny Astro, just a legend of the sport in the main support role, has been at the top of his game for years and years now in the Overwatch scene. And here he stands ready to claim a trophy, a world championship in the OWCS era, flanked by Simple. And TM with the absolute throwaway ban. Qadsiah banned the Brig, wanting to ensure that the D.Va has full space to work with. I think wise. However, Twisted Minds just oozing confidence.
Nothing they feel here relevant to get rid of. We will see Qadsiah there. So, as we go into Brunasapi, what these teams decide to play, Qadsiah, you imagine they are falling back to that D.Va straight away. It's a pretty good Ramatra sim map, though. Some options here for Twisted Minds on the other side.
Needs to be perfect now from Qadsiah. They're on the cusp of elimination, and they've come so far. It's been such an incredible journey for them. Undefeated thus far in Stockholm. It's been a beautiful run. They have not faced this kind of adversity yet in this tournament. The last time they were in a grand final, they couldn't get it done. And I'm sure those moments in danger of being replayed over and over again in their minds for these players. This is the culmination of not just this year, but years of effort. Nearly a decade of Overwatch experience here on some of these players. And it all comes to this, having to dig deep in a disadvantaged scenario when it just feels almost impossible, when people might start to doubt yourselves, might stop believing. Qadsiah have to just dig and find that strength. Someone has to step up big time on Brunasapi to just keep them alive in this series, just to get deeper, just to have one last chance, a couple more attempts.
And now Qadsiah have to throw everything into this one. Tournament life on the line. World finals on the line. As we head into Brunasapi, we had showed the bands a little bit earlier talking about it. Is Qadsiah getting rid of the Brig. So this is even to empower Ziad even more. They feel like their win condition is Ziad doing performances like he had on New Queen Street. And for Twisted Minds, one more map standing between you and a world championship.
Both teams gonna roll out with their preferred style. Qadsiah, can they find this boa constrictor feeling just playing it slow, grinding out the cooldowns, or real Twisted Minds be able to swarm over them, connect from these fists of fury. TVNT's Ramatra has been devastating in these brawls. You've got to keep it controlled. You've got to stay focused. Qadsiah, though, the pressure is immense and mounting.
TPs come down from both teams.
Qadsiah so low.
Qadsiah take it just for a little bit, but they do take some damage from it. Nice disruptor shot. Yeah, Labda getting a lot of value with that.
And TVNT has a defensive form here. So Qadsiah are going to start to pull this card away. Instead, they turn to put the pressure on. Checkmate goes down, but Labda has found the trade. Yubi, though, getting energized, has clutched out fights before in this series. Labda with the second. This is a perfect time for him to come online in this series. Needs more and finds it. Now Twisted Minds, it's just Quartz and TVNT trying to stand tall. Labda tries to dive in, but the Mega snatched away. TVNT still in this fight. Ziad, maybe enough health to get this done. The Matrix denying any chance. Can he stay in the suit? Just barely. Landon takes out Funny Astro, and I mean, a fight just doesn't get much closer than that, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, an all-out brawl to kick things off where Qadsiah comes out on top. For a second there, I was a little bit worried, Jake. They were allowing Yubi on that off angle to start getting the beam rolling on the Sim, that ramping damage. He was fully healthy. And finally, they're able to take him out. It's, oh, you lose Kelix here at the start. That's a disaster of a first blood there for Qadsiah. You lose the Lucio, not everybody else able to make it out. You don't gain much progress at all there for Qadsiah off of that.
That's a painful one. Kelix has to keep his composure in this spot. That puts Funny Astro in the driver's seat with a lead on this sound barrier charge. Labda does get his one. He's been rock solid in this series, despite facing off against Quartz. I mean, few players could be so confident. Labda does have that first OC,
no,
but it's a hard place to open up.
This is a massive fight coming up here. Twisted Mind's gonna have absolutely everything to work with, could make a strong push towards checkpoint. They win this next fight. They push TVNT up onto the card here. TP comes in, OC from behind.
Takes the TP, gets the wide angle, but isn't found in the connections just yet. Simple has pumped that Kitsune rush. Whoa, slide forward from Labda, so aggressive. Maybe a misclick there is punished instantly by Twisted Minds. A gift given and received. Quartz, multiple kills in the fight. And Qadsiah, the nerves maybe bearing down on them. It's a relatively expensive fight for Twisted Minds. The ult bank does tilt towards Qadsiah, but I think TM are going to be more than happy with this reward of checkpoint push.
We'll see if they can get there. Probably another attempt here for Qadsiah. Double support ult here to stop Twisted Minds from getting this checkpoint. This Ziad steps up just a little bit. They do give up the checkpoint. They end up going in with the rush.
Very early rush, and it's just guided.
You can back.
Twisted Minds. Funny Astro laughs in the face of that rush, and they're right back into the engagement. They're not even yielding much space. Yubi, maybe a little bit of overconfidence there, stays close, gets punished. The beat is too late. Kelix with a much better response. And now TM down their Sim, lacking damage in this frontline pressure fight. TVNT pulls the trigger on the ultimate, trying to clean this up. But Checkmate has outflanked them now, and it's his turn to clean the fight on Sim. TVNT stalled out, finds one kill, but nothing left to find in the fight. Ziad just barely hangs onto the suit.
Just a little bit too late there on the beat. Doesn't keep Yubi alive. That's a large source of damage, especially against the D.Va. TVNT pops the annihilation of TP from Checkmate and Co. They go directly on past him. Not getting cooked by that Ramatra. So now Qadsiah. Let's see though, Jay, can they set up one of these, like, maybe they go with a Sim TP with a bomb, a la Twisted Minds when they decide to play these D.Va comps. This TP around here, getting Labda into a better position.
Labda gets a bit of space, but doesn't want to swing wide just yet. Sim all deployed now from Checkmate. Something to work with. Twisted Minds, no ultimates, just have to outplay with the Sim TP. They've almost done it, but Landon somehow takes the head off of Yubi, and that leaves TVNT hung out to dry. Twisted Minds forced into a desperate sack onto cart, and Qadsiah will retake the lead.
They get checkpoint as well. They don't have to use anything there outside of the Sim wall. Yubi and TVNT try and like flank around past the wall, maybe try and set up like a little of a pinch. Yubi gets caught early on. Simple has the rush, but no way you're investing it in that type of scenario. Down your Sim yet again. 2 fights in a row. They lose Yubi early.
OC comes out. TVNT just can't get the resource. Everyone hiding. This Sojourn has been on fire this map. This has been Labda's turn to take over a game, delivering a heroic performance when it was needed most. And TM now falling behind. They may have more better maps in this series, but right now, Qadsiah showing real signs of life, real fight in this series.
Yubi just farming up some damage down here.
Energized, but he's so low.
Kitsune rushes on both sides. Ziad actually finds Yubi here, so
Ziad.
get rid of this sim yet again early on, and now Ziad can go to work.
He's doing everything in this fight. TVNT has that Annihilation rolling. The self-destruct will zone him away for now. And Qadsiah just getting meter after meter of progress, building up this lead, building up this advantage. They don't need to commit in this position. Playing slow for now. Discretion, the better part of Valor. Twisted Minds, though, it's their turn to clap back with an ultimate. Bank, and Quartz doesn't even need it. Finds that opener onto Landon, and Qadsiah in a sloppy reset. But they've got a lot of lead to work with, Matt.
They do have a lot of lead, but the ultimate economy here trending a little bit more in favor of Twisted Minds. So you have obviously the sim walls on both sides, sound barriers on both sides, but you know, maybe Quartz just shuts all that down. Open things up with an OC, find a pick.
This ends now.
OC popped, just the odd exposed, trying to fly out, saving that mech for now. Quartz is gonna get a shot, though here's a chance and he takes it. Checkmate down. Qadsiah, difficult choices now. They choose to just hold off. The Symmetra is such an integral member of this composition. You do not want to take that fight without her. Quartz maybe looking to force the issue with this corner. Such a difficult place to turn.
Oh, I mean, the defense matrix there from Ziad as Quartz looking with the 100 energy there to line up yet another railgun kill. They have to turn, they have to get rid of the TP. Respect the fact that Yubi may go through it. Ziad dangerously low.
Sim walls created, Ziad getting low, the Sims building up that energy. Qadsiah have to yield the cart for now. Both Lucios looking to have the better beat. Qadsiah go first, Funny asks with the better response. Quartz just barely gets the beat in time. But still they're chasing him, still they're hunting for more. Yubi finds checkmate. The cart being pulled away, Ziad has taken down one. And yet the other four from Twisted Minds still healthy. Still pushing this cart. And if they retake this lead now, Matt, it's dire straits for Qadsiah.
And Ziad cannot get D-mech'd. They know there's one more player here though, Kellex. Trying to get out of harm's way. It's gonna be the Kitsune rush here, over by the point.
Ziad can't get that self-destruct online. Landon fighting with the rush, it's not enough. Overwhelmed, Flab, the desperation OC. Refuses to give up this lead, but he may have no choice. Qadsiah team wiped on the map, and Twisted Minds looking to complete this map. Looking to potentially close out the series here and take home the trophy in Stockholm.
And they lose Landon here late. Quartz building up towards yet another overclock. Fortunately for Qadsiah, Ziad, a second life, the self-destruct. May have to use it quite early.
Nice heat of destructive shot. TVNT finds Labda. This could be it. Ziad, self-destruct, back into the suit, but TVNT still healthy, still brawling on the point, and Quartz has done it so many times before, and he'll do it again with the OC finishing their longtime foes. Twisted Minds rise as champions to take their place among the stars, a new champion in a new era of Overwatch. EMEA on top, and it means so much to these players. They gave their full heart into this one, Matt.
Twisted Minds are your world champions. They get it done here against their rivals from EMEA. Quartz, tremendous all tournament long. The back line as well. Probably feels a little bit bittersweet, knocking out their friends, their rivals on the side of Qadsiah. But Overwatch has a new team on top on the global stage. Twisted Minds, an unbelievable run here at the World Finals. They shake hands and they move closer towards the trophy. This team, we talked, coachless. They come in, they are dominant performers here as Yubi, he makes a beeline for that trophy.
Stockholm, your OWCS 2025 World Finals champions, it's Twisted Minds!
Some of these players have had great moments from World Cups in the past. And now, the OWCS World Champions here in 2025. Quartz, phenomenal all tournament long on the hit scan. TVNT. Really, it was him on the Ramatra, right? Playing D.Va for a lot of the tournament, going to the Ramatra here in the finals, made a huge impact. You can see Qadsiah, they were a little bit worried about some of those bans, needed to protect that D.Va at all costs. Psycho, sometimes the coach, sometimes in the lineup. That is it for me and Jake. Thank you very much for joining us here for our World Finals. But let's go to Adam and Danny on the stage with our world champions, Twisted Minds.
DreamHack, would you please, one more time, make some noise? Your 2025 OWCS World Champions, Twisted Minds! What a moment! What a moment, what a moment. We'll give them a second to enjoy their time in the spotlight. You're world champions, everyone. All right, let's get some more, let's get some more. Congratulations, congratulations, Twisted Minds. Let's get you guys just lined up here for a second before you, just come forward here, fellas, come forward here. Come forward here, Japs, come this way, come this way. Congratulations, you are world champions. Of course, how does it feel to be a world champion right now in this moment?
It feels so nice. The team worked so hard for this moment, and I'm very thankful that we became world champion today.
Simple. Fantastic stuff today. You guys finally made it. You guys are the world champions. How are you feeling? 지금 일단 우승까지 끝까지 달려서 열심히 하셨습니다. 지금 소감 한 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
지금 솔직히 꿈인 것 같아요.
Honestly, it just feels like a dream.
It's been an incredible 5 days here as well. Yubi, talk us through how you're feeling right now, the crowd here. How has it been to experience this here at DreamHack? Tell us about the team, how well they've played the last 5 days here at this tournament.
Okay, first of all, I want to thank all the players here from Psycho and the Reset, and I want to thank the Honor team to trust in our roster, and we bring him the trophy. And also I want to thank Willy V and Brain and Emo. That's it. And that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, funny Astro. I'll go on that side. I'll go on that side. In our previous interview, you said that you had something up your sleeves, and you guys definitely did have something. Can you just, now that you guys are the world champions, give us the sauce? What was it?
Oh, we didn't really have anything. We were just kind of making it up as we go along.
That's incredible. TVNT, I want to ask you as well. Earlier on today, you had a matchup against Qadsiah. It didn't go your way. You came back in that final. It felt dominant. What did you change up? How did you do things differently to make sure that you grabbed hold of that trophy?
In the start, we tried to play with Psycho to counter Sim, but I think Sim is still broken. We can't counter it now. So I just play with you and win it all.
Excellent.
I mean, we got KS and Psycho here as well. I want to hear from you guys. Finally, Twisted Mind, you guys won it all. How are you guys feeling as well?
Feeling pretty amazing. My team won. 4-1. Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Psycho, anything you want to say?
I mean, thank you so much for all of you for coming out here. We couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you guys so much. This is a dream come true. If you dream it, you make it true, like Willy V would say.
I also want to, one second here. I do want to make sure as well that we all acknowledge that the MVP of our entire competition here, a certain someone, your MVP, it's Qadsiah. I mean, listen to the world. Incredible. Qadsiah, the MVP, any words you want to share with the fans here and the fans watching at home? You've been incredible.
I would like to thank all the fans, all the people that attended today, even the ones watching us online or at home. They've been supporting me incredibly, and I've been seeing it all, and I really do appreciate it. I would like to especially thank the Saudi fans for supporting me throughout my whole career, and thank you all.
Incredible. On that note, one more time. After Qadsiah is ceremoniously lifted in the air, of course. Twisted Minds, please make your way back to the trophy to lift it once more. Give it up one more time for your 2025 OWCS World Champions. It's Twisted Minds!
The salty lower bracket run completed. History has been made today. Two teams finding themselves at the very end in a grand final here for the World Finals. And it is Twisted Minds coming out on top of this one. You saw how much it meant to these players on that very stage.
It is just so inspiring to hear the story of Twisted Minds, coachless throughout the season. Yubi just being so humble in terms of how much he has really impacted the team and getting them the success. And to see this all hard work culminate at the end of the year in a grand finals championship win, they must be feeling so proud of themselves.
And they did it the most difficult way as well, the most unique team. They're saying, we don't need a coach. We have Yubi. He's the captain, he's the player, he's the coach, he's everything the team needs, and even more so, a team that had to go through the lower bracket, had to beat all three Korean teams. There's no fluke here. There's no mistake here either. And then to have your tournament MVP, Qadsiah as well. I can officially say it now. I think everyone agrees as well. He's the best hit scan in the world. He went through Merit. He went through Proud. He went through Lip. There are no further questions.
An unreal performance every single day of the World Finals as well. Like even when things seemed to slow down for the team, Qadsiah picked it back up. He was hitting those shots. Absolutely phenomenal. And we have to talk about the fashion with which Twisted Minds has gotten this done. They did not take that sim mirror in the upper bracket against Qadsiah. Qadsiah, like they don't seem to win those sim mirrors against them, even though they win it against every other team in the world. But against Qadsiah, they do not bust it out. And to make that switch here in the grand final and commit to it, incredible.
So funny that Funny Astro was just like, yeah, we were kind of making it up along the way, right? But I think that you have to give so much credit to the leadership that Yubi does bring to this roster. The entire team working together to make sure that they can actually have the correct strategies to be able to deal with this Qadsiah squad. We've talked about their win-loss record throughout the 2025 calendar year, whether it's been a part of the Overwatch Champions Series or a part of the Saudi E-League. It was Qadsiah leading the charge. They had 10 match wins versus 9 match wins for Twisted Minds. But at the end of the day, Twisted Minds, they do get the win and they're able to equalize that.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing made up about this grand finals victory here and this entire warpath for Twisted Minds. And it goes back even further than Stockholm, goes back even further than OWCS 2 years ago at BlizzCon, at the Overwatch World Cup. 3 of these players, Qadsiah on the bench, on this Twisted Minds roster, but on the Saudi World Cup roster, alongside Yubi, alongside Qadsiah. They won the Overwatch World Cup in 2023. We asked the question back then, is this the rise of these Saudi players shooting up the ranks in terms of their own personal skill? 2 years later, through the OWCS, they proved themselves up against the very best of the best. Again, no further questions to be asked here. They came across and defeated all challengers to say that now, not only are they the best, but Europe, EMEA, maybe in general, are the best.
I mean, Labda was on the part of the second place roster, Qadsiah. So I think you're right on the money. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, this has been their time to shine. All of these players really coming out. And I think a lot of that is in part to the Saudi E-League. You have such a major proving ground for a lot of these competitors, and they're able to prove themselves not just there, but also on the international Overwatch World Champions stage. And just, I hope they're able to enjoy this moment.
Look at how happy that confetti made Funny Astro. I absolutely love it. Yeah, they get their opportunity in the light here, posing with the trophy that they get to take home after this incredible year. Because it wasn't just today. They have been so dominant in their region as well. It was fantastic to see them just a few months ago in front of their home crowd as well, stepping it up to another level with the fans right in front of them there as well.
Yeah, and just so happy for these players. A lot of them have had such long careers as well. Talk about guys like Funny Astro, who's had a long career in the Overwatch League and has had tastes of success then. But since then in the OWCS area, it's just been a lot more difficult. Again, guys like Psycho saw some really overlooked players, some newcomers newcomers, TVNT, all of these guys that really haven't had the opportunity. We never thought that within 2 years of the OWCS that they could overcome the entirety of the region of Korea to do this. I mean, never in my wildest dreams could I believe that not just this one team, but 2 teams, and maybe even further in the future. A lot of questions now being asked internationally about how are we going to start ranking things. Is the age of Korea over? The hegemony of Korea dominance has finally ended in the year of 2025. And that just means going to next year in 2026, anything is possible. Psycho said it, if you can dream it, you can believe it.
Yeah. Put that one on a t-shirt, honestly. That's quotable of all time. But honestly, it's just been really working for them all year long, playing this particular composition. They were dominant with it. And even though everything was viable for other teams, there was just no real counter when you go up against them specifically. May have worked against other teams, but they fought their way with this symmetric composition all the way to the grand final. This is the journey that they took, that had to take a dip into the lower bracket in order to make it.
That's the thing, right? They had to play through so many different games. They had to play through 3 Korean teams. They had to go through the lower bracket. They had to play through 3 matches just today, including the grand finals, which is the first of 4 as well. So really, I mean, there's just nothing else to really be said about how much effort they had to put into this win. They left it all out there.
They really did. And I mean, all the teams did though, right? We've seen phenomenal performances, even from teams that made an earlier exit. It's been so much fun to watch their journey through the regular seasons, through all our LAN events this year. Let's talk a little bit about the big takeaways of this year and also of this World Final.
Wow, I mean, it's just so amazing to see how competitive the Overwatch ecosystem has really gone. The fact that we had Korea on top for so long, and now EMEA has overtaken them, and we still have North America and China rising. Japan, Vero, they were such a pleasant surprise in this tournament as well. And so I think the future is so bright for a lot of these teams and a lot of these players. And let's just talk briefly about the meta we saw for this event as well. It was so wide open and so varied. It was fun across the board.
Yeah, we had a lot of great matches and great metas throughout the year, and also throughout all the different LAN events that we had here. Well, 3 in-person events where you start to slowly see the build-up of EMEA dominance, and we kind of got that feeling at the mid-season championship when Qadsiah reached that final. Unfortunately, they will once again reach a final, but just be short. And shout out those players as well. I'm sure they got great careers ahead of them. We saw so much potential, and one day maybe they will also get to lift this World Finals trophy. But I'm sure they're happy that if it wasn't them, it was going to be the compatriots from EMEA and Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I think throughout the year, throughout this competitive season, we saw a lot of new faces taking to the imaginary stages as well during the regular season. I think a lot of those players we will be seeing back again next year. Necra, Avril, thank you so much for joining me here on the desk. It's been an absolute pleasure of being able to pick your guys' brain. Of course, also a massive shout out to all of our casters calling the action throughout the last couple of days. Man, your voices are gone. You guys gave it your all. It's been phenomenal, so exciting, and so hype to listen to all the action. Also, of course, a big thank you to our partners and to all of our production for making this possible. And a big thank you to you at home watching and supporting this program all year long. Now, the World Finals are over. We crowned our champions in Twisted Minds. EMEA on top. History has been made. We got a little glimpse earlier this week as well on what's to come in 2026 for Overwatch Esports. The future is bright. For now, it's a good night. Good night, Stockholm. Good night, DreamHack.
Remember the time when our hearts were synced and our thoughts connected, expanding our size. We can clear the cache, burn it all to ashes. And attack our energy back and charging forward, losing track of what has failed us. We can be heroes, let our fear go. No time to play. You're not alone, no stops in the road. The fallen pave our way. We can clear the mess with 1,000 marching steps. Nothing stays broken. Nothing ever stays broken. While the world is burning broken, we're charting, defining the map when we pull the trigger and attack. Our energy back and charging forward, losing track of what has failed.